How does a small business, and in this case, I think an independent freelance designer, best advertise for new work to bring in new clients?
Yeah, this is a good question. When I read it, I thought about if you're already in the business and you're basically just trying to survive or build your business. So I'm going to answer it kind of in that direction. And then if you're actually just thinking of moving into that space anew. So I had a similar situation where I had taken over a business and I thought, yeah, what is the best way to place our bets and spend money or effort or time to kind of get new business? And what I did was I actually just kind of did a retro and looking back at any previous work, what was it we actually offered that landed and we sold, and also how. And what I uncovered was that when I started looking at where the money came in or where work landed, it was completely the opposite to all of the energy and interest and narrative internally about where we thought we were going. So yeah, we thought we were like doing AR and VR work with like startups, but actually it was just big corporates buying an app. And that was a huge moment of insight for myself and also for the team. And it made me realize, oh, the sales team is way too heavy. We should actually just go back to the bread and butter and spend our effort there because that's what created success. And so you might think you have that gut feel, but just run the numbers and just have a look at what that is before. I think it might surprise you. In general, referral is always the best way. So if you have return work, word of mouth, people who trust another voice to say this person has really, really done great work. And then next to that is adjacent problem spaces or adjacent industries because you've got credentials or you understand the language in a certain area. So it's easy to look for things in that area. And I say problem spaces because you might have, you've done some work for a client that has the same core problem that could be like a communication problem. And because you've solved the communication problem, you can lift and shift that to another industry like an FMCG brand or something. So yeah, I'd say like start with what your core is, where's the best chance of you gaining eyes and then conversations and what could turn into work. And if you're net new, thinking about how you can do partnering with someone who isn't able to offer the one-stop shop, but you can augment into their sales pipeline, and how you can sort of sneak that wedge in to then get referrals to then branch out into new business.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think there's that feeling, isn't there, of going out on your own, which is then I've got to do everything. But being able to partner with someone else that can do something that you can't, and you can do something that they can't, is a really good idea. I tell you what I really loved though as well, which I find is probably the biggest challenge for some at the moment, which is if you think what you're selling is just outputs, like, oh, I do websites or I do brochures or I do whatever it might be, then it's very hard for someone to go, oh, okay, well, I'll use you. You'll probably end up just going to go, you'll get used. Someone will pick you if you're the cheapest. But if, like you said, you understood what it is that you really do and what problems you solve and whether you've solved those problems previously, and that's a similar problem that someone else has got, you're going to be instantly more valuable. You can charge more. And yeah, people are going to understand what it is that you really do. And they get to buy you instead of a bunch of assets that you...
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's about leaving that client better than when you found them. And you're right, that's not a stack of brochures. That's them having better insights about their business, better strategic direction, and something they can kind of, take forward.
Caitlin, on this one of the hardest bits about looking for new business is rejection. How do you what are some of the kind of things that we can use to work out how to avoid when we're just getting, oh no, I don't need anything right now, thanks, and it looks like nothing's going to come down the line? How do we deal with that rejection?
Yeah, I suppose also just acknowledging that it's part of it. There's not going to be, you're not going to be able to serve everyone. So a bit of trusting the process, really, I suppose. And yeah, kind of giving yourself a next step forward. What's next to focus on? Trying your best not to take it personally, because as you said, like you're putting yourself out there as a product. Like when I market my counseling business, I'm putting myself out there. It's me. So trying not to say that that's a direct rejection of myself. And yeah, then having the next thing to propel you into what's next for you. Is there, and I mean, that's also information, right? To give you, I think, like you guys have said, information to refine things. Anyway, use it as help rather than
I like
a block.
I like the idea of like actually as soon as you get a rejection, you can just go, okay, what's my next step? Rather than having to like sit and wallow and go, oh God, no one's this. Like, it's really nice to just go, okay, this is what I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
We've got a program running at the moment called Never Not Finishing School, and we ran one of the cohorts on Tuesday night, and the next day someone posted all the actions that they're going to take as a result of what they did on what we talked about on Tuesday night. And it was just this instant kind of, you know what, it's the next bit of taking control of what happens next. And I really think that's a really good way of, nice mindset to have, a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, definitely.